Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Ninja Knight. Make sure you like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you. So today Hasbro treated us with some reveals for the Transformers Warpath Cybertron Kingdom. And I have to say, ultimately looking at the reveals today, I was very happy. I would have loved to see a little bit more, which we'll discuss later on in this video. Here we have an image for Paleotrex, and it comes as no surprise for anybody that's been following my YouTube or some of the other YouTube channels out here that have gotten early samples of this character. It's quite surprising that John Warden, who has been absolutely fantastic for the Transformers brand, decided not to go in further on the story pattern that these characters of fossilizers will play. I suppose they want to leave that up to the Netflix show to show how these guys will integrate. But I thought it was absolutely lovely to see that John Warden said that he designed these primarily for his son. His son is a big fan of fossils, and I think that these characters would fit nicely in if they were to be purchased or sold in a museum. I think that would be a good idea. That a YouTube commenter commented on one of my videos there previously. I think that would be a good idea, and it would see more eyes on this. We're seeing this new type of packaging, and I have to say, I'm going to repeat myself in this video, that I think that this packaging is outstanding. It's going to be very difficult to throw this packaging away because I think the artwork on each and every character's packaging is absolutely outstanding. I really like this. So as you can see from this packaging, it's shown that's a Predacon, so a Predacon symbol. In the back here we have the golden disc, which will factor into what I will be talking about in this video. And we have a lovely, seemingly volcanic area that's very desolate with the Transformer in its robot mode and its alternate mode. We have heard Hasbro in the past say that they are going to cut down on the plastic on packaging, and once I can see the eyes and particularly the face in terms of QC on a figure, I'm very happy with that. I don't need a whole window to be looking at a character. So once we get to see the face, I'm happy enough because I would be very particular with the QC. Next up, we have Vertebreak. So this is another one of the fossilizers, and this guy is coming in the core class. So similarly to Rattrap, this guy will be of a cheaper price point than we have just seen with Paleotrex, who will be in the deluxe class. So this seems to be a Draco-Raptor from what John Warden said, and I have to say this alternate form for this character looks absolutely outstanding. I think it looks very different. I love that it's an all-new character, and this character as well is a Predacon, so very interesting to see that this character is another Predacon, so they are going to get those ranks built up very quickly. Next we have Blackarachnia, and I think Blackarachnia's packaging is very positive because it shows us three characters in the background that the other packaging doesn't show any other characters really from what I can see. So that we can see here we have Scorponok, we have Dinobot in his Velociraptor mode, which I think looks quite akin to the Jurassic Park Velociraptors, which I'm very excited about. Over here on the left hand side we have everybody's favourite bumbling bug, Waspinator. I like the packaging for this, and I think it's interesting to see that the robot form is in front of the beast form. Very interesting. I am surprised that we do not see Tarantulas on this packaging, given the fact that he has a big part in Blackarachnia's eventual creation. Here we retreat to this beautiful poster work, and there's some stuff to break down within this poster. So John Warden said that the golden discs and time travel would play a big part within this part of the Warpath Cybertron trilogy kingdom. We see Optimus Prime here. It would be curious to see if we do get to see a new Optimus Prime before this line closes out. I would say that we possibly will. We see Cheetor, we see Rhinox here up in the corner, Trax, we've Waspinator again, so I do believe that we will see Waspinator soon. We have Pipes, who will be recoloured, I imagine, into Huffer as well too, and vice versa. And we have Ultra Magnus here in his Earth mode, who looks very G1, which I'm a big fan of. This character here is a little bit obscure, and we can't quite see who that is at the moment. Down here we have Rattrap, and over here we have Cyclonus, Blackarachnia, Wheeljack, Starscream, RC, what looks to be Air Razor, and then we have our Warpath here. So I'm breaking down some of the newer characters that we were shown today. We have Optimus Primal, and he is wearing a fossilizer that seems to be a saber-toothed tiger. So I think that this is going to play into the pattern of generally mammals will be associated with the Maximals, and more lizard type animals, cold-blooded animals, will be associated with the Predacons. We see a crocodile type character coming out of the water, and it looks like it's about to attack either Primal or Warpath. Closely following behind it though is a character that really caught my eye and was one of the first characters I purchased in the Transformers Beast Wars line, and that is Polar Claw. So Polar Claw is a character that transforms into a polar bear, and I'm very excited to see this guy. This is a character that was featured in the Transformers Beast Wars Gathering, and I think if this line decides to incorporate a lot of different animals, I think that would be really great, and you can always have the chance of repainting him into another type of bear, in my opinion. We see the great Tyrannosaurus Rex of Megatron here, which I'm a big fan of, and we see another fossilizer running along here. It's very difficult to determine what this is going to transform into. Over here we have another fossilizer that looks like it's running and transforming with lovely spikes on its shoulders. So again, I think the variety in designs in these fossilizers is going to be really interesting to see. We see that we have Galvatron here up here in the left hand corner along with Cyclonus. So this is really playing into this time displacement era, and I'm a big fan of what they're going to do here. So there's nothing else to see here, just joking. What we have here is, beside the volcano, seems to be a transformed form of the Autobot Ark. This is something that I'm very excited about. I've done previous videos on this, that there will be a Transformers Titan class Ark. A lot of people suggested that it might be a playset. I never thought it would just be that. I always thought it would be a robot. I thought perhaps it could be Omega Supreme, maybe Vector Prime, but I think looking at the coloration and the way this looks, I think I am going to settle on this could be the last Autobot, otherwise known as Autonomous Maximus. As a Titan class, I think that name is very striking, and I would be surprised if it's not called Autonomous Maximus. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of this. I was a little bit disappointed that Hasbro didn't talk a little bit more about the Titan class arc, which we all seem to know about at the moment. So a little bit disappointed on that one. Next we see is the packaging for core class Rattrap, and like I said earlier on, I'm a big fan of how these packaging look. I would have liked to see him in maybe something akin to this, because I feel that with the blister card here on the front, when you tear it off, it really does destroy the rest of the packaging around it. And also, we do not have a robot mode version of Rattrap on that, so that was a little bit disappointing as someone that is ideally not going to try and hoard collection and packages, but I think with these they look so nice, I think I will. Cheetor here looks really nice, and I like the fact that Cheetor looks quite aggressive here, and we have the cheetah that looks like it's moving at some pace. I have to say the people who are working on the illustrations for this line and packaging have done an absolutely tremendous job. This is without a shadow of a doubt probably the best packaging I've seen within the Transformers line. Never before do I think I've seen Transformers packaging that I absolutely wanted to keep. Maybe the Studio series, but this stuff looks absolutely unreal. Optimus Primal here I think looks absolutely outstanding in this drawing. I'm a huge fan of how the gorilla looks, and I'm a huge fan of how Primal looks with this backing. The colorations just pop. Another thing we're noticing as well too is this decreased size of the window. I'm absolutely fine with that. Like I said, once you get to see the head of the figure, and particularly the eyes and the face, I am happy with that, as that is my biggest QC concern when I'm looking at a figure in terms of paint. So ultimately I think that this is a good step in the right direction from Hasbro if they're going to do away with the windows and packaging. I'm not a big fan of not being able to see the character like the Commander class figures, but I think if we still get to see some sort of ability to look at the character, and particularly the face and head sculpt, to ensure that the QC is good, I'm happy enough with that. Otherwise I think you could enter into a realm of having a lot of returns, in my opinion. So we're going to have a look now at the Hasbro Pulse site and a little bit more in depth of the figures themselves. So they revealed these today, and the Transformers, they're available today at 5 PM ET, which is 10 o'clock in GMT. So here we have Optimus Primal. Now I have to say, it's very difficult to see why you would purchase an MP now after seeing this. The articulation looks absolutely insane. The robot mode looked absolutely beautiful, and again I think the alternate mode of the gorilla looked great. They're changing up how these characters look a little bit, and they did say that on the stream. They said that they did not want to copy directly what the show was like, and they wanted to branch out from there and give us more realistic looking animals. That is fine. I think that this carries over very well, and I think ultimately they're extremely respectful in terms of the robot form and also the alternate form. Primal comes with his two swords here, and he even comes with his back boosting blasters as well too. His forearms pop out and have blasters also, and he can store these weapons in the back. I think that this looks great. Now these fold down as well too, so don't worry about having your gorilla having missiles in its alternate form. Next we have Megatron. So this is no surprise, I showed this in a previous video. I'm a big fan of how this looks, and John Warden even said that they had a very high profile individual that worked on MPMs and other MPs to work on this very Megatron and to take inspirations from some of the more realistic dinosaur lines. And I think it shows with Megatron. Megatron looks absolutely incredible. That dinosaur mode is absolutely sick, and I think that that is something I'm definitely going to display him in. This is one of the characters that I'm going to just predominantly display in dinosaur mode. I think I might buy 2 or 3 of this. It's that good looking. Next we have is Paleotrex. So we've just shown him. He's been circulating online as well too for quite some time, so no really surprise there. We see Vertebreak here, and this is Vertebrake's alternate form, so it's like that Dracoraptor that John was talking about, and I think that this looks absolutely lovely. I'm a big fan of how this looks, and this can pop out and become a sword as well too. I'm very excited to see more fossilizers, and as I said, we can see here is the Predacon symbol, so this guy is a bad guy. Blackarachnia here looks absolutely outstanding. Big fan of this character, and I'm looking to see probably the inevitable repaint retool into Tarantulas. Now whether they make Tarantulas bigger than her into a Voyager, maybe upsize it a bit, remains to be seen. Next character we have is Cheetor, again another character that's been circulating quite recently, and it's been said, due to the people who have designed him, said that they used this axe weapon to sort of give us a little bit of a taster of the Transmetals, and this is a bit of a homage towards the Transmetals. So a little bit is disappointing that this doesn't come with his gun, but I think that this is a nice homage and it plays into this animalistic sort of weaponry. Cyclonus looks absolutely outstanding, and I think with the kibble being very kibble free underneath the cockpit of the carrier mode and also underneath the ship, it looks absolutely brilliant. His back has literally no kibble, so I'm very excited for this guy. We have core class Optimus Prime, so this is a small version of Optimus Prime similar to the scale of Rattrap, so it's 3.5 inches from what I understand, and the idea of this guy was to introduce younger fans into the brand and at a cheap price point. That's fine. Okay, you will have a lot of people that would probably be upset with this one because they feel it's taking a space away, but I think Hasbro do want to keep certain characters within circulation in this line. We have Rattrap here, who again has been doing the rounds recently on social media and looks very, very nice for the price point in my opinion. And then last but not least we have Warpath. So Warpath is someone again who has had reviews done on and looks like a very nice figure with some armor 3 on him. I have to say overall the Kingdom stuff looked really impressive today. There was no reveals for Studio Series, which was a little bit disappointing I found, and I thought that we might have seen something or talked about something to do with the Ark. Hasbro did mention that they were going to have more Fan Force Fridays and stuff like that, so that's fine, and I expect them to reveal a little bit more over the coming weeks. Obviously when we're tuned into this, is a little bit disappointing that we didn't see way more, but I think Hasbro are trying to stagger these releases and certainly try to help retailers, I think, without overloading them with pre-orders and stuff like that. Ultimately I think the Hasbro Kingdom line looks absolutely outstanding and I'm a big fan. I just want to take this time in this segment just to say a big thank you to John Warden. It's a very touching thing to see somebody like John Warden say goodbye to the brand itself. As a Transformers fan, he's been absolutely immense for the last couple of years, and you can clearly see the time, the hard work and dedication he puts into the brand and to the new brand he's going to be working on. This man is a true fan, and I think it goes without saying that he's done absolutely everything in his power to please Transformers fans. He did something innovative with the Combiner Wars line, and even though that line featured a lot of repaints, he brought Combiners back into the central fold for Transformers. He's now been overseeing the Studio Series line. He's overseeing this Kingdom line and the War for Cybertron trilogy line, which has given us a lot of very excellent G1 figures. So I'd like to take this time to wish John Warden all the best in the future with the Power Rangers line. I think he's going to absolutely kill it over there, and I suppose there is a little bit of me that feels a bit sorry that we won't see John Warden working on a new Titan class Metroplex, which he had liked to do. I do hope that he will maybe do that in the future, but I think the line is in good hands with Lenny. Lenny is a guy who seems like he's very interested and very committed to this line. He seems as much of a fan as John Warden, which is beautiful to see, and the two of men have a very close connection, which was very easy to see on the stream. I absolutely loved that. Inducting Greg Berger into the Hall of Fame was absolutely beautiful, and I think to see Greg Berger's face and the emotion that was very visible on Greg Berger's face was absolutely incredible. He is a man that has stood with the brand for as long as it's been. I think Grimlock, particularly as a character, hasn't been used nearly as much as he should, and I think that any opportunity that Greg Berger could have been used within this brand should have been used, and unfortunately I think in the last couple of years it hasn't been used correctly in terms of introducing Grimlock. I loved him in the Fall of Cybertron game. I thought it was outstanding, and the alterations he made to that character were very, very strong. I would have loved to hear Grimlock speak with his voice in Age of Extinction and then in The Last Night, but it wasn't to be, unfortunately. So big congratulations to Greg Berger. I think it's well deserved. One of the G1 originals, and if rumours are to be believed, will have a leader class figure in the Studio Series line as G1 Grimlock very soon, which is very good. Another part of the segment as well too that I thought was absolutely touching was the talking with Peter Cullen and Frank Welker. And I have to really give it to Ben, who was in charge of that segment and that stream. That guy was clearly a fan, and I think that is something that you cannot fake on these things. It's very easy for other fans to notice fellow fans, and I think Ben handled that panel very, very well. That panel was actually full of high emotion, I thought, as well too, between Frank and Peter. And Peter is somebody whom I've met, and Frank is somebody whom I've also met, and they are two gentlemen. It's fantastic to see them get their respect and get the dues that they are very much deserving of. Two of the greatest voice actors of all time, and I think two individuals that have helped this brand to perceive and live the way it has done and have given it the injection the way they have done. It's absolutely beautiful to hear the stories from Peter about his brother Larry, and I think that it's an absolute inspiration the way Peter conducts himself and also how Frank conducts himself. There's a clear jovialness between the two of them, and I absolutely love that. They are two iconic individuals that are iconic voices for this brand, and it was beautiful to see them get their dues and be respected and get their time on a worldwide brand and a worldwide audience. I think that doesn't happen enough, for particularly for a lot of these voice actors that put so much time, hard work and passion into these roles, that I think sometimes gets overlooked. I think they are very deserving of it. Overall, I thought that this Hasbro brand panel was very good. I thought it was worked well. I would have liked to see more reveals. I would have liked to see something from the Studio Series, and I think that was maybe a little bit of a missed opportunity from Hasbro. They are very aware that this stuff is getting out on social media, so it's very surprising that they wouldn't want to have gotten ahead of the horse bolting from the gate and saying, well, this is what we have upcoming, because this stuff is making its way out online very quickly. So far as that, we've seen Studio Series Hot Rod and Studio Series Cup already being revealed. Now, what does that do? As a company, they've one of two options: either say nothing and ignore it and then reveal it later on down the line, but everybody knows then at that point, or you could actually at that time maybe buy a copy yourself before it's even revealed. I think as a company, they should have taken a hard stance with today and should have said, okay, we're showing everything we have for the year. Is that an intelligent thing to do? Maybe, maybe not. But ultimately, I think it lets people plan their expenditure over the course of the year and into next year and say, right, okay, this isn't going to come up now in the next month, or at least I can plan this sort of stuff out. I think Hasbro missed a beat on that one there a little bit. I would have liked to see way more being introduced, but I thought that today, ultimately, the Transformers panel was probably the best panel that we've seen throughout the whole Hasbro PulseCon. I felt it was ingrained with fans. It definitely let people that were involved heavily in the brand, like Mr. Cullen and Mr. Welker, speak, and also Mr. Berger, and give them the respect that they deserved. I thought that this panel was particularly the most fan orientated panel, aside from the Ghostbusters one, of course, but I thought this one was the most fan centric panel. And I have to say, like I said, there was very high emotion between Peter Cullen talking, Frank Welker, and of course John Warden. So I would like to say thank you very much. I think that was a great panel. I'm a massive fan of Transformers, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the future with this brand, because after the Beast era, it certainly throws up questions as to what will happen next, because the Beast era for me is something that they can do for a very long time, but I do hope that they do plan it out and say, right, this is the amount of characters we can get, new characters, they need to build that up. There was the Netflix part of the panel, which I found probably the least interesting, as I wasn't a fan of that show. So if that's going to be the main advertiser for the toys going forward, it would certainly leave me with a little bit of, I suppose, skepticism. The toys are ultimately going to sell regardless, but I would like to see improvements on that show, and I would love to see a mainline show that is using great actors like Peter Cullen and Frank Welker, Gary Chalk. I would love to see that. Greg Berger as well too. I think that they might now move forward that way, hopefully, in the future for Kingdom. Anyway, I'm going to leave the video there. What did you think about today's reveals? Do you think Hasbro missed out a trick on revealing some of the characters that we've already seen? Do you think Hasbro should have revealed something to do with the Titan class arc? Or do you think today was a missed opportunity for them talking about another possible HasLab item? Keep the minds fresh. They are talking about Unicron. The talk has a little bit gone a little bit quiet about that one. I would have liked to see maybe an update about Unicron. I would have liked to see them maybe tease, look, would anybody be interested in a Primus? Something like that maybe. Do you feel the same? Which Beast characters would you like to see in this line? I think that there are a number of characters that you could do, particularly from Beast Wars Gathering and beyond, that could definitely keep this line going for a very long time. We do know that Tigatron is supposed to be coming soon, and I suppose with the MP being revealed and shipping right now, I wasn't surprised not to see Tigatron. But I'm sure that there are other characters that are there that they do plan on releasing in MP form, that they are trying to not get out of the way very quickly so that they can have those sales from across the lines. Did you think today was a missed opportunity to show some of the Studio Series movie line maybe from the Michael Bay movies? I thought that we would have seen a couple of figures from there. Do you think today was a missed opportunity for them to talk about maybe some of the stuff from the G186 movie that we all know about at this stage? What do you think? Leave a comment below. Make sure you like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Pre-orders look to be going live very soon. Let me know what you got or what you're going to pick up, and I'll talk to you later. Good luck.